Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show. Hey, this is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. Man, hey, greatness starts here. You know what I'm saying? That is my quote for the day. Greatness starts here. But with that being said, guys, before I actually jump into the podcast with our guests, NSPS TV Paranormal, quick, had an investigation last night at Austin, Texas, third oldest cemetery. And I can honestly say, guys, this place has never, ever failed me. It's one of those locations where you're gonna catch some evidence regardless. And man, I took the team there because I am rebuilding my team, and they're new. Some of them who've never investigated before, some of them have. So I took them there just so they can get the feel and the understanding of ways to communicate with individuals that are no longer here, and get them able to feel comfortable within themselves, feeling certain things, when they're in a location, don't always, when something touches you, you have to be able to just let things go at times, be within yourself, hair pulling you. I mean, they're not pulling your hair just because, they're doing it. They're probably trying to get your attention. So, but last night was another great success. Appreciate everybody that came out. All the team members did a great job. All you newbies out there that are a part of the organization, hey, man, thumbs up. I see you guys been great paranormal investigators as time go along. But again, there's still a lot of work to do. But hey, guys, with that being said, we're going to jump into the podcast. And this evening, we've had Faded Footsteps from Nottingham, UK. Hey, guys, welcome to the show. I really appreciate you guys joining me. Man, let's dive right into it. The first thing that I've noticed about you guys is your name. Where did you guys get that name from? And why do you have Faded Footsteps? Is it because everything's faded when you guys are dealing with the paranormal? How do you guys come up with that?
So basically, the name was actually sat in a place called Annesley Hall in Nottingham. If you want to research it, it's such a great building. Lord Byron connections to it. So we sat there as you do and racking our brains on what name best describes our brand. And Faded Footsteps it's like echoes of slowly fading footsteps, and it doesn't tie us down to one thing, and we can expand on that. But we wanted a double barrel, double F, and here we are today, Faded Footsteps.
Okay, well, hey, man, it's definitely an eye catcher because when I'm like, man, that's a weird name right there. I mean, it's unusual, so I hope people are drawn to that name, man, because it definitely got me. It definitely got me. But one thing about the city you live in, I've reached out to so many paranormal investigators out of that city you guys live in. Man, there is so many active paranormal investigators there. Why is that the case?
Nottingham, Robin Hood, City of Caves, central to the UK.
Lots of history there, isn't there?
Yeah, 100%.
There's lots of history within Nottingham.
Yeah, man. One thing about the UK, man, you guys got us beat over here about at least 500 more years or maybe more. The UK has been around for a very long time. A lot of death, a lot of tragedy. There's a lot of things over there that, people in the US couldn't even fathom. You know what I'm saying? A lot of wars. But with that being said, guys, tell me a little information about yourselves, what you guys do over there, and tell me a little bit about your team.
So we're very new, to be honest. 3 months old.
Oh
And
wow.
what we're trying to achieve is a slightly alternative way of paranormal investigation.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to build something with properties which have sat there steeped in history, and we want to open them doors and open doors to more people to come and do paranormal investigation. So to do that, we're testing new ways of doing it. We're doing coffin seances. We're trying to do more around Singapore theory to try and bring new eyes into the paranormal world. And then, yeah.
I've been in the paranormal world for a long, long time. Only recently, like he just said, only recently have we joined together as a team. But yeah, over the years, it's been the same sort of things, just going into abandoned properties, empty properties. So we've come together to do something a little bit new, different this time, to try and bring the public in.
Okay. Man, congratulations, man. You guys, like you said, you're new to the community. So I'm going to welcome you to the community as a whole. But with that being said, how has the community, the paranormal community, how have they reacted to you guys as being a new organization? Have they opened up to you guys open arms? Have they reached out to you and said, hey, welcome? If you guys need any assistance, how have they, can't come to you guys? Are you guys, because I know
Yeah,
there's
so
some communities out there that, that's not willing to give that hand to you guys. But, how have they preceded you guys so far?
I think it's very mixed. Myself and both of us have been in the industry a long time. So we're not new to the industry, the brand's new to the industry, but um, it's like anything. I think a lot of people welcome us with open arms. As an example, the property we're in tonight, 16th century building in Birmingham, UK, called Old Gresley Hall. And we've actually been invited by a member of the public. So it's a great example of this community coming together, inviting us over, and to be able to do the pod live in this property as well.
Yeah, yeah, I think we have been quite welcomed, but like you just said, we have been a part of the industry for a long time. It's the brand that's new, not us as people.
Right.
So we already had sort of connections anyway. Um, but yeah, it's been all right for us, to be honest. Although I don't think it works like that for everyone.
Cool. Okay, cool. Hey, welcome to the show. I really appreciate you guys joining me. Quick shout outs to everybody. Oh man, there are so many different platforms that we are on this evening. For all you guys that are on Kick, Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, hey guys, welcome to the show. If you guys get a chance to go to any of these guys' Facebook page, please feel free to do so. Hit that share, like, subscribe button. Let's show these guys a lot of support. Hey, USA style. You know what I'm saying? Let's show these guys a lot of love. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to ask you guys a bunch of questions. Some of them you probably heard before. Some of them you probably haven't. So just sit back. Feel free to, if you got your cookies and milk, get your cookies and milk together, and let's just have some fun. There you go. Hey, first question of the day, guys. What does the community, you guys say you've been in this for a while. What does your community perceive about you guys? Do they give you guys a thumbs up? Do they look at you sideways? How do they look at you guys as paranormal investigators?
I think we get a thumbs up. Well, I hope so. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some paranormal investigators are not into the theatrics of coffin seances, which we do.
Mhm.
Um, and we accept that. It's not going to be the same for everybody. So, but generally, we have been, I'd say, widely
Welcomed.
opened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. What does your family think about what you guys do? Are they good with it? Hey, because we all know grandmothers and grandfathers, man, they kind of turn the side eye on stuff like this.
Can I swear on here or not? Crashed.
What happened?
Ah, sorry, it crashed. I'm just saying, is this PG? Can I swear?
Yeah, yeah, you can swear.
My wife says I'm a fucking idiot.
But that's the reason why she think like that. Why did she think you a knucklehead?
She's a non-believer, so she just thinks what we do is nonsense. But that's the beauty of relationships, total opposites.
And just think about it, guys. If we didn't have people, if we didn't have non-believers, how do you think this world would be?
It'd be very boring, wouldn't it? Because there'd be nothing to prove.
Yeah, man. I mean, it would be. I mean, everybody would be the same way, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that don't sound right to me. So
No,
we gotta have both sides of the spectrum.
definitely.
You gotta have those critics, and that's a good thing because critics make everything 50-50 right down the line. Here, these guys over here are trying to prove me wrong, and the guys on the right, I'm trying to prove them wrong. We're right in the middle, and that's the way I like it, and that's the way it should be, and it should be like that with everything. Okay, it's really hard, man. Trying to prove things to individuals, especially when they see it right in their face. They see something's going on in there. Okay, let's take a residential case. Most people in their residence are, they're the type of people, oh man, especially if you're in an old location. Oh man, it's just squirrels in the attic, or it's just something crooked, the house settling. But dude,
Yeah.
when you see something out the corner of your eye, oh man, that's going on. But yet, there's something active in their house and in their location, but they refuse to do anything about it.
Mm.
They refuse to. And man, conservative people have a way of just letting things go by. And
Yeah,
to me, I think that is one of the biggest reasons why, especially in the United States, that's one of the biggest reasons why residential cases are on the decline, because people are afraid to express what they see and what they hear.
I think people are afraid of being told that they're crazy. I think that's what it is. People are afraid of what other people will, if they express what they see or what they hear that's there, and somebody say, oh, you're crazy, I think it's like a stigma around it, isn't there?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You hit that perfect. And and it's okay, because at some point we're all a little crazy.
That's right. Yeah.
And we've all seen things and heard things that we cannot explain.
Yeah.
So I want to feel comfortable in my home, especially if I'm paying $300,000 for it. You know what I'm saying? I want to feel comfortable, and I don't give a damn. See, the thing is today, guys, is most people are more concerned on what their neighbors might think if people see a paranormal van pull up to their house.
Yeah.
And they are concerned about, oh, oh, this, that. No. You could possibly have the same thing going on in your house, but you're just not saying anything about it.
That's it.
You get a lot of time. It's subconscious. People choose just to ignore, to be blinded to it, just to accept it and just carry on with normal day life.
Is it cool to accept things like that? What do you guys think?
I think it's a tough one, isn't it? We had somebody recently that came to one of our events as a pilot test, and they total non-believer, but they couldn't deny what had been seen. Doors moving on their own, shadows, and they openly admit that, but they still choose not to believe. So I think it's that subconscious. Once you've got something in your mind, and it's if you're not going to accept it, it's a tough one.
Yeah, I think it's really tough. But at what point, guys, at what point in our young lives as humans, when are we going to be able to accept that the things it's the possibility of these things of the next life actually existing? Because a lot of people don't, it's 2025, we're going into 2026, and a lot of people still yet to understand and don't want to accept the possibility of what if. What if? And to me, it seems like we have to evolve as humans. We have to, because let's say out of space, aliens come down and tell us, hey, you guys have not evolved enough to even come socialize on our level because you don't believe the basic facts of your own humanity yet. At what point, what does it take? Because paranormal investigators like you, like me, and like millions or more have put out so much evidence that it's undeniably that something is going on. There is another life beyond ours, but yet there are so many that don't believe that.
Yeah, I believe in the UK it's only 38% data that believe on average, and then when you look at age impacts, if you look at 35 plus is the age range of so the youngsters. I think it becomes the more people experience in life, the more they want to know about it and research it. But to your point, when do we accept? When do we want to know the answers? When do we want to know more? Because that's what we all want.
Yes, that's the $1 million question. And a lot of people, hey, I want the $1 million. I want to be able to, I want to know everything about what's going on. We are so closed-minded individuals. At what point are we going to open up our eyes and ears and mind and evolve? It's such, I expect this 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th century. I expect those people to be a certain way. But at this day and age, with all the technology, all the evidence that we presented, there are still some out there that just don't believe it. And you know what? And most of the blame or the major religion aspect of all of this.
Yeah. It is a tough one. It really is. And I think like it pointed out, I think until people have their own experiences, which opens up their minds, they just they don't accept it, do they?
It is wild, man. But you know what? It's our job as paranormal. You know what? I'm gonna not use the word paranormal investigators. I like to use parapsychologists. Even though we don't go, even though we didn't go to school for it, there's a lot of us that don't go to school for it. But I think parapsychologist is the most adequate word to use for what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As a parapsychologist, you know, it's we have to be able to, come to people, explain to people, and that's why there's so many people out there like you guys having venues and trying to talk to people about it, because believe it or not, guys, there's always questions in the back of people's minds that they want to ask, but they're always afraid to ask.
No, that's right. If you approach people, they are more interested than what you know. It's only if you approach them first. If you don't, they're probably people that would never speak of it.
Mm-hmm. We'll never speak of it. And but you know why? Because the whole religion aspect of this whole thing has got certain people blinded.
Yeah.
Because when you go to church or when you go to whatever religion you are always told that one thing, ghosts
Well,
don't exist.
people associate it with evil, don't they?
Yeah.
So, what we do, people think that you're messing with the devil, or it's evil, or and I think, like you say, from a religious background, people from whatever religion, that's what they're told. So whether there's something paranormal right in front of their face, they don't accept it because of that stigma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And but if you take religion out of every small equation, because it seems like religion is a part of our everyday lives,
Yeah.
no matter what you do. If you take that religion aspect out, just throw it and put it to the side, do you think people would be more acceptable for what we do and have more understanding about the possibility of your life being evolved into something bigger and something better, besides this world that we live in once we're gone?
I just, I'm just gonna have to stop you a second because we're getting a bit of activity in here. So I'm gonna turn the light off just to see if you can see us, so you can see what we're seeing. Just bear with me a second. Can you still see us? Okay.
Right. Yeah, I can still see you.
Yeah, we just had some flashes and stuff in the
Some of the equipment's going off.
Oh, wow.
so you just might be able to see it. So we'll give you the opportunity to see it live. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Okay, so what are we dealing with as far as equipment? What is that over there? Is that like a REM pod or something?
Yeah, we've got two REM pods set up. We've got a few balls set up. We've got a REM base set up. So there's a few things in the background. A couple of it's been going off. But I didn't think you'd be able to see it unless we turn the lights off.
Interesting indeed. How do you guys feel about the devices that this certain era is providing for us? Do you think it's adequate enough for the spirits to contact, to play with, or do you feel like there should be more into the field, better wise, to make it a little bit more, I can't say comfortable for the spirits. I can say a little bit more to make it a little bit more able for the spirits to contact you with.
Yeah, I think it's open to interpretation, obviously, and between the two of us, we have different opinion on certain equipment. We like to use different things, but I think sometimes the best equipment is just our ears,
Is your own
and our own
senses.
eyes. But I do believe we've got to involve as an industry. We've got to provide better stuff to get the better evidence, which again is $1 million question. But the best evidence, majority of the time, is with our own eyes and ears.
So the the major question that I have for you guys is, why do you think more paranormal investigators don't use that? They are so fixed on equipment these days instead of using what they were born with to use.
TV.
Yeah, definitely TV. And I also think that sometimes, well, I find that we use the equipment um just to help us along sometimes, just to because sometimes sitting there talking to thin air when you don't feel like you're getting anything back, sometimes I think that it's just a bit of help.
I totally agree with you because there are certain instances that are mind changing. I'm going to use mind changing because you will remember that cat ball going off, but something pulling your hair, that is a lifetime moment for you. It will always
Yeah.
be embedded in your head. That cat ball, you're gonna forget about that cat ball, but having your hair pulled or somebody touching your head like this,
Yeah.
that is a moment in your life you will never forget.
Well, just perfect example. Just tonight, we were doing a bit of investigating before we came on here, and the spirit touched my leg 3 times and touched my hair, so it will definitely stick with me.
Yeah, I bet. It's weird. It's really weird, guys, how people sometimes will spend I've seen people spend unbelievable amount of money on equipment. If you ain't tested out yourself, how do you know it's actually going to work the way that you want it to work? But yeah, you go spend $500,000 on equipment we really don't know anything about.
I completely agree, and we were having this conversation earlier today. We don't know. We don't know that it works, do we? It's just, I think it's just something that we, like I said, it's something that we just use to help us along, and just on the hope that it does what it says on the box.
And sometimes that box says do not return to sender. So you can't get your money back.
No, that's right.
You cannot get your money back. And that is, you know what? Somebody has turned that business. That is a multi-million-dollar a year business. Building, manufacturing paranormal equipment. Whether it works or
And let's be honest, as an industry, we have overpriced that massively, massively overpriced it. A question for yourself: what would your favourite equipment be?
my favorite equipment is, and I'm going to be honest with you, is my senses. Now, don't get me wrong, I do have devices, but when I go into a location, I always stop. When I first walk in, I always stop. I feel the way my body reacts towards the certain location. If
Yeah.
I don't have any hair on my arms or on my head, but if I feel like there's some kind of energy that's trying to raise, I always focus on that. And deja vu plays a big part in my life. A lot of people say deja vu is nonsense. But when you're walking and you just happen to see something out the corner of your eye, or you just think you see something twice, I just personally think that's a part of the spirit world. That's a part, because deja vu. I mean, if you seeing something twice, man, I mean, like, whoa, hold up,
Yeah.
that right there gets my attention. I'm like, wait a minute, something
Yeah.
weird here. So that takes me to another level. That takes me to another level where let me slow down. Because we are so excited when we go into a location, we're all amped up about it. We're excited that we're in this location, but at what point do we got to bring that level down to get our eyes, our ears, our senses at a certain level where they need to be so we can start feeling all these emotions and seeing things and these feelings because some locations are just filled with dread.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree.
Some I mean, it's been such bad history. It's filled with dread. But there is some locations that are you just feel like, hey man, this is a cool. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Everybody's into their moment. So when you feeling that, you come in and you drop that and you feel that, like, oh yeah, man, I can definitely sense this. I can sense that. So but then once I'm done with that, and that's when I bring the devices in.
Mm.
I'm able to get my body the way that I need it. I'll bring the devices in, and trust me, I've got devices I think that no one has, and I try to make them a little bit more uh, acceptable and a little bit more uh, hard for spirits to activate. Not just spirits, but nature as itself. Because I noticed that if you put a cat ball in front of the door and you catch a draft, that cat ball is going to go off because it's motioned. You put it near a window, you might get drafted, no matter what the case may be. You have that opportunity to catch something that can activate. So I make my equipment a little bit harder, so where it's not, you have to think, well, I don't think a wind did that, so I'm always on the think about that, and go ahead.
I was just going to say, well, what we recently tested was recreating in one of the properties we have in Nottingham. It's called Stamford House, and it's steeped in history, dated back to the 1750s, royals, and etc. So we recreated a room, no equipment, just a recreation. We played old classical music from the 1750s to try and, rather than, it's not equipment, but bringing back to life what that would have looked like, and that alone, it can be better than any of the equipment because you're resonating, you're drawing the spirits into a time they're familiar with, and then the results come from that.
Question, how successful, because a lot of teams have started using that method. How successful are you guys actually trying to represent a certain area, a certain space for you guys to communicate with?
Sorry, what was that? Sorry.
How do you guys? A lot of teams have started to use that method. They're starting to use uh, certain types of music in that particular era to get results. How does that work for you guys?
It worked pretty well for us, didn't it?
Yeah, so we used classical music, which would have dated over 100 years. So not specifically time to we expand it over a certain amount of time because nobody truly knows the specifics of that energy at any time. But if we've had success when we've expanded that over a certain amount of time, and we have actually had some really strong results from that.
Yeah, it worked quite well. It worked quite well for us in that building.
Interesting. I had a friend that this sounds kind of weird, guys, but I'm gonna throw this at you. Okay. He went to the shop, to the old shop. You guys remember those VCR tapes where you can push into the TV?
Yeah.
You can use, and you can watch TV. Well, he actually went and got a small TV and actually got an old Western movie, put that movie into the VCR, and actually turned it on as a part of his investigation.
Interesting.
Oh,
And believe it or not, guys, he turned it up and tried to recreate the whole uh, a Western type feel, and it was
Yeah.
great. He actually got a lot of success. It was very successful, and he's got a lot of evidence on his voice recorder. And
Wow.
the weirdest thing is a spirit coming on and say, "Hey, I remember riding a horse.
Wow.
Yes, I remember this. I remember that." And and some people when they spoke, when they spoke about it, it was only like one words, like saloon
Wow.
or
That's amazing.
trough. So everything that these guys talked about was in that era.
In the movie.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy. So
Maybe sparked their memories.
yeah, and that was cool. And that right there tells me that memories is something that you don't die with. Memory is embedded with you for because the spirits can remember something like that. That right there tells me that uh memory don't all
Yeah.
your memory will go with you.
Yeah.
I'll give you a great story from one of our properties. So the history dates back, and King George III was classed as the Mad King. So the owner of the property, William Stamford, at the time, he was a massive royalist. So when the Mad King, he had the old hog ale barrels of ale and gave the ale to the whole street. So we recreated like the big barrels of beer, the medieval tankards, and played all the music in that. And we on our EVPs, we actually got footsteps, which would have been, like the old ballroom dancing kind of style. We actually got that at that moment, and we thought, wow, the resonation of that,
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah, that dude. So why aren't these people today? I mean, don't get me wrong, there are a large amount of us that use these methods, but it seems like people are just stuck in their ways of using the methods that they think that are more successful for them. You know, if you do that, you're really cornering yourself in a box. You
100%. I think as well.
Okay.
There's complete different methods, and people want different styles. But I think a lot of that is just produced from YouTubers and TV series who's over exaggerated and over promoted.
right, right. So, guys, what do you guys think about, in your own words, what do you guys think about paranormal investigators from 20 years, 30 years ago compared to today's paranormal investigator? Do you guys think the only difference between the two is the technology that we have today compared to the technology that they were using back in 30 years ago?
It's the technology. I think the only thing that has changed is the technology.
I think we're in a content world. Example, we're on podcast now. The social aspect of it is ramped up, but definitely technology.
It's come a long way.
Come on. Now, do you think if us three was to go back to 30 years ago, do you actually think that we would be successful as paranormal investigators back then compared to vice versa, those guys coming into our generation and our time? Which ones would think would be more successful?
I think from your own opinion, like you said, you can't deny something touching you. You can't deny that would be more successful back then. However, from a visual perspective, because the amount of gadgets would be more successful now, whichever side of the coin you prefer. But I do believe from a visual would be now because we have that technology. But like you say, from a personal belief, I've been touched. I've seen a shadow. I'd say back then.
You know, guys, AI popped up pretty quick. I mean, it seemed like
Oh,
AI just popped up overnight. AI is on everybody's phone now. I mean, it's embedded in our culture at a short period of time. How do you think AI will help paranormal investigators going forth into the next generations to come? Do you think it would help us as paranormal investigators, or do you think it's going to hurt us?
it was massively. The amount of fakes that could be produced, they found fake imagery, fake videos. I think that's a bad thing. However, AI could be very successful in building new equipment. I do believe that could be a good thing if the right equipment gets built. But from the social world of it, I think it's bad. But equipment, if we nail it right, we could really develop into something we've not seen before.
Yeah, I think that'd be nice. How do you think the 22nd century paranormal investigator, what do you think that's going to be like? Or you think we're going to be dressed like, fifth generation Marines where we got cameras here and voice recorders on our backs? I mean, you think we're going to be decked out, or do you think pretty much things are going to remain the same?
Oh, decked out, definitely. I
Or do
definitely,
you,
especially the younger generation, because they love all the gadgets and stuff, don't they? So I think they'll probably relish in that.
now, as we evolved in the paranormal community with all this
I think
technology,
we've crashed.
as
Oh, we're
we
back. We're back.
okay, as we evolved in this technical world of ours, the big question is, as we evolve, do you think the spirit world is going to evolve also? Do you think they're going to make it more difficult for us to communicate with them, or do you think you're going to make it a little easier? That's one of the biggest questions that a lot of people can't answer, because we all know that the spirit world is always one step ahead of us. No matter what we do, no matter what equipments that we present, they always are a step ahead.
100%. Everything lingers. We're probably being watched now. So, it's, I think, who knows, the
Yeah.
spirits get sick of us, do they,
Is that why? Is that why that they communicate with you sometimes, and then other times you can come and they don't communicate with you? Is it because they get sick of talking to you?
No, I think they get sick of saying the norm. They get
Mm,
sick of saying the same old, same old, same old. That's just like me and you.
yeah,
If our kids keep telling us same old, same old, same old, same old, what happens? If
you
you don't
get
get
bored.
your butt out of here, get out of here. Go,
yeah,
go away.
yeah.
And I think that's the results that we get from them, because
You know,
they get tired of it.
100%. And do you know what? Since we've been doing a few things a little bit different, myself was in a coffin the other day, and we streamed it to a different room, and we communicated that way. Mate, something different will resonate. But to your point, same old, same old. You're just gonna be. I'm done with this. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done with it. So how do we manage to keep these guys' curiosity going? How do we able to do that?
For different things, trying different things.
Try different things. Think outside that box, man.
Yeah,
Because if you think outside that box, like I always tell people, will give you the best results.
yeah,
100%.
Because if you come at me, if I'm a spirit and you're at my location and you come at me with the basic things that I've seen night after night after night after night, at that point, you're going to see something amazing. You know what you're going to see? you're going to see that cat ball being flown 50 yards down the hallway because I don't want to deal with it. You're going to see that REM pod probably being flipped on its head because I don't want to deal with it because that's something I've seen 3 days ago. Or you're going to see something that's, eye-catching because I'm tired of it. Present me something new, something fresh.
Yeah.
At some point, I'm just like you. Because if you give me a new idea, if you give me something fresh, I'm gonna gravitate. That's what we do as humans. If you seen this kick-ass new car on the street, what are you gonna do? Something you've never seen before, you're gonna gravitate. You're gonna go walk up to it. You're gonna gravitate to it. You're gonna say, "Hey, that's nice. That is something nice." But if it's the same old, same old, same old, what are you gonna do? You're gonna walk away from it.
Yeah.
You're not going to want to interact with it because that's something that you've seen before.
100%. I think, if you was a spirit right now and you resign in a place which is booked out every single Friday, Saturday, it's the same thing coming through the door. Can you touch this cat ball a million times? You're not going to do it.
No, and it's not just the way the equipment that we look at. It's also the communication. It's how you talk. Dude, people know there's 26 letters in the alphabet? So why are we keep saying the same thing to trying to communicate with these individuals night after night after night after night?
And also to that point is, do they even speak English?
I always think that if you die speaking a certain language, you will continue speaking that certain language.
Mm.
But I also I thought about this. It's language universal. You can speak multiple languages.
Mm.
Because I am smack down in the middle of Texas, where there's different language. There are so many different languages here that if you're from a certain area, you would definitely have to speak every language imaginable to communicate with people. So I don't see why that wouldn't be the case in the spirit world.
Mm.
I agree.
I really can't see that. I mean, you definitely got to be bilingual. You know what I'm saying? You definitely got to be bilingual. Guys, a lot of people, this is the biggest, and I get criticized for this a lot, but I can't help. In all the years I've been investigating, this is my conclusion on what I think is going on in the spirit world. A lot of people can say, well, Terry, you full of crap. Terry, you this, Terry, you that. But this is just the way I feel. I feel like there's politics in heaven. Would you agree or disagree?
I'd agree. Yeah, politics today, whether we're alive or dead, it's never going to change, is it?
I feel like there's politics because there's individual. Have you ever asked a spirit a certain question and you don't get that response? There's individuals, there's politics up there that will allow because they don't want us to know exactly what's going on. Because if there was no politics or no one's saying, hey guys, we can't say this, we can't say that, there's boundaries. We have to keep these guys guessing until they get here. So we really don't want to spoil all the fun for these guys. And that's the way it's been for thousands of years. So I can't have you come in as a newly departed individual and just come tell all our secrets. So we got to put rules and regulations to this and boundaries so that would not happen. I can't, you know how many times I've asked people, spirits, hey, what do you see? I've never got an answer. But I've always asked a spirit that's unrelated to the spirit world, and you get results from that. So how is that you can get one answer and you can't get the other?
It comes down to defining, what do we define a spirit as? You know, is it energy? Is it a form of some past life? Is it physical body operations? Or, you know, that question and answer can be a multiple of different things.
Right? And and to me, it always seems like it's only need to know basis. They're only going to tell you what you need to know. Nothing more, nothing less. If you got these, you know what? It seems like earthbound spirits are more susceptible to them answering your questions than spirits that have been crossed over.
Mm. An interesting one is the lady to my left here is a white witch and slightly on the medium side. So you see things completely different to myself. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that.
I I see things, hear things, feel things on a daily basis in different settings. Um, uh, but only when they want me to. So I think you are right. Maybe they are. There is politics up there, and because they don't come and tell me anything different. They don't tell me anything about the afterlife.
You know what? And who would know more about the afterlife if it's not someone who's gifted, that
Yeah,
has that ability to see, to hear, to communicate, have that bond between a certain spirit, especially if that spirit learns to trust you. If you
yeah,
go into a location and the spirit knows your name, a first name basis, hey, hi, Jenny, or hi, Robert, and then they react to you, hey, such and such, you guys are on that first name basis, you guys are communicating, you guys are having, that conversation. But the minute you pop something that you shouldn't be saying, or a question that you shouldn't be asking, they're not going to tell you.
and you're very right. No, they don't.
They're not going to tell. And it could be some of the simplest questions, like, do you see grass? Do you see a mountain? Is there sun? Is there
Yeah,
moon? Is there a sky? Tell me the smallest thing that you see.
yeah.
But no,
Sometimes, sometimes they won't even tell you whether they're with people or not.
no. And the one thing that one thing that we've always learned, and I always taught, is when you die, you reunite with your loved ones.
Yeah,
But that's not always the case either.
no, no. And I think it's always going to be that same the same question, isn't it? Everybody, you're not going to know yourself until you get there.
Till you get there, and it's it's crazy, and I respect the people or the individuals that put these let's call them bylaws. I'm not going to call it politics. They're bylaws
Yeah,
in place for us to, for us on this side of the world to accept that bylaws do exist over there, and for them on their side to obey by the bylaws. It goes both ways,
yeah,
but I'm just, sometimes you get a little frustrated because, like I was saying a few minutes ago, you ask some of the simplest questions about the heavens and they can't get to you.
No.
That they will not.
Yeah.
But if you
No,
got
completely agree.
if you got earthbound spirits that have been in locations for years, they are willing to communicate you to the furthest extent.
Mm,
You know, they will follow you around the locations. I've had spirits follow me around.
yeah.
I've had spirits call my name. I've had spirits do some of the craziest things that you can imagine. But it was on a level where you're my friend, I'm your friend. We have that basic understanding as an earthbound spirit. and it's really cool that I get to experience things like that. But at what point do we try to elevate that? And we know we can't elevate it because they're not going to answer the questions.
Mm.
But as humans, what are we as humans?
And maybe that's why we're still asking the same question that people have been asking for hundreds of years, because they won't let us find the answers.
Now, and us as humans, we are the most curious things on this planet. We want to know everything. Curiosity kills the cat.
Yeah.
We are so curious about things is questions. We want it can drive us crazy. It can drive the spirits crazy, but it's something that we have to know as humans is the possibility of what if. That's just the $1,000,000 question. What if? We want to know. We are a curious race. That's like going out into space. We want to hit up don't go to that planet, but you think we're not going to go? Because we are a curious race. We want to know what's on that planet. And it's been like you say, it's been like that for thousands of years.
It's the Holy Grail, isn't it?
Yeah.
Answers. It's what we're all here for.
You know, and it's, I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing that we only find out once we
Now, if you
pass.
can see here, guys, we're just
I don't think they'll be able to see.
can you see the wetness?
They won't be able to see.
This house is called the house that cries, because the roofs leak, and it's not because it's damp. It's basically it's built with old ship brick lakes. It's I don't know if you could see that or not.
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh, we're just sitting here talking to you, and I just had drops of water land on my hands.
Oh wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, well, it has been the story of this house. That's what happens, and I never expected it to happen, but it's happened as I was sitting here.
Well, you know what? Strange things happen at the strangest times.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely when you're just having an ordinary conversation. I don't know whether you find it, but when you just having an ordinary conversation and you seem to not be paying attention to the spirit world, is when they try and get your attention that little bit more.
Yes, and you know what? And I was just talking about that. And that's one of the biggest reasons that most people today are closed-minded, because they don't take the time to sit back and enjoy that moment. Slow down. Just slow down, you know, because this world is so fast-paced.
Yeah.
And can you imagine being in New York City and how fast that city is?
Yeah.
How everybody's going. But if you was to go take a seat on a bench in the middle of Times Square and just sit back for a moment, take a deep breath, and just look at how many ghosts or spirits are walking past you that nobody even sees, nobody pays attention to. You know what I'm saying? It's just everything is so fast these days.
Yeah.
And me personally, and I just think that's why it was so easy to investigate long ago compared to now, is because everything was slow back then.
Like,
You were able
Yeah.
to, see things clearer and understand things better compared to today. And a lot, like I say, man, a lot of people, you can see a spirit walk right beside you. But if you don't have that focus and vision, if your mind is set on something,
Something else.
yeah,
You're
if
gonna
your
miss it.
mind is set, if your mind set getting the Macy's before they close, you're not going to see that.
That's it.
I mean, it's I hate to say it, but this world is too fast, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but the way the world is going these days, I don't know a city in any country that is slow paced.
No.
Everything's going.
Yeah.
and it's only going to get faster.
Yeah, and it's only going to get faster because, believe it or not, guys, the kids today, our next generation of elders, can you imagine what they're going to be like?
Oh, it'd be a nightmare. Absolute nightmare.
Our next generation of elders, can you imagine?
It's not a good thought.
No. They're all gonna be walking around with screens in their faces.
Exactly. They're going to have
Zombie
this.
time.
They'll definitely see nothing.
So at what time are these guys going to be able to sit back? And most of the kids today have never enjoyed any moment. They've never enjoyed a moonrise, a sunrise, a rain cloud. They've seen a rain cloud, but have they actually seen a rain cloud when it's actually evolving into a rain cloud? When's the last time they seen a mountain or something that's natural?
It's like you go to a show now. That's like people watch a show with their phone.
Yeah.
They don't watch with the eyes. Everybody becomes zombified.
They miss reality, don't they? The younger generation, that reality is on that screen. It's not right in front of them.
Yeah, when was the last time you've actually seen a kid outside kicking a ball?
That's
or,
it.
Or just outside digging in the dirt, getting making a mud pie. When's the time you seen a kid make a mud pie?
That's it.
You've not met my daughter. She's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? If today's generation have not experienced that, and they just let things go by them, they would never understand our world in the paranormal community. It's just,
I agree. It's the generation, and like I said to you earlier, the youngsters are not interested in paranormal, until they experience, and I think that's just going to get wider and wider.
So,
unfortunately.
So what do we need to do? Because if that is the case, and I'm being honest here, our community is going to die.
Well,
it's literally going to die within a generation or two.
And this is one of the reasons why we're trying to target a younger generation to bring them through and to interact the younger generation in. They want to have the more fearful side of the paranormal, and that's the hard balance. Is us as investigators, it's more quiet periods, a lot of waiting, but they don't want to wait. They want everything now, and it's a hard balance to try and capture that young generation. Or to your point, it's just going to get wider and die.
And the craziest, if you're able to do that, the biggest question that I have for you guys is, how are you going to get them to put that phone down for 1 minute?
Take it off them before they come in. Go in the box. You're not coming in.
I mean, because their lifeline is that phone. That's how I know that people from that generation can jump into our generation and they would excel. They would be okay. But our generation, go back into their generation without them having a cell phone, without them having the technology. I don't think we can adapt to that generation as being a paranormal investigators because we didn't have the technology that they had back then. But I think since they don't have the technology already and they jump into our generation, I think they will fit fine.
Yeah, I agree. It's that slider, isn't it? The technology, what could potentially be available, is massive.
Yeah.
And if you can bring that younger generation along, we could probably unfold something we all want to see.
Yeah, but the one thing that I can honestly say, guys, that there are certain individuals here in the state of Texas that are making sure that paranormal investigators, the young ones, are on a good path to where they need to be as future paranormal investigators. There are certain school districts that are here in Texas are allowing certain schools to teach parapsychology.
Wow.
So that is a good thing. So those of us, I mean, it would have to be as an elective. I mean, it's not going to be a major course unless you get to college. But being, a kid in parapsychology in high school, either you're a junior or a senior, I think that's a plus.
I agree. I think we need to come over to Texas.
Yeah.
Well, come on, man. That would be great. I'd love to have you guys. But that would be a great idea for future paranormal investigators. But like you say, there's are some out there that want their fame and fortune now.
Yeah, they don't
So
want to wait.
YouTube, Facebook, all these social media outlets, they're good. They really are. But as we have to make a stance on what to put out. If you putting out BS, I don't think BS should be allowed to be in a social media where there's honest, hardworking individuals that are trying to push out their evidence truthfully and not using any other means than that to reach out to a certain audience. But there are also those, like you're saying, that AI generated that's going to make these guys look bad. Even though they're putting out the hard work and dedication, who you think they're going to come to? People that are hardworking or the ones that are AI generated that's going to catch your eye more than what these guys over here are doing.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it will get pushed on the other side.
Yeah. You get pushed to the other side of the spectrum, and what? Fame and fortune is going to come to the 20-year-old that bullshitted all of us for an AI generated paranormal investigating video.
100%. Unfortunately.
And to me, I don't think that's right.
No, I agree.
Because at the end of the day, hard work and dedication pays off. That's something we've always taught. Hard work and dedication pays off.
And it's funny that though, because it's our times have changed. It's not the case anymore, is it?
No, it's not. It's not.
Hard work and dedication, we pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things, man, that either we're gonna have to adapt to it or something's gonna happen in the case where shit's gonna fall apart.
Mm.
And I don't want that because there's so many of us out in the world that, like you say, are working so hard indigently, so it won't happen.
Yeah, I
if you
agree.
don't,
I think there's always going to be that balance. It's just trying to bring the two worlds together.
yeah, I think that both sides have to come to an understanding is uh, if we don't do this, if we don't do that, we have the potential of not existing anymore, you know, and we just have to come together as a community to make sure that don't happen.
Yeah, I agree. And I think as well, we're here investigating tonight. We will investigate completely different to how we would in an event. And for that reason, it's trying to bring the other audience in to try and understand both worlds.
Yes. You know, and that's the reason why people ask me, man, why you on so many different social media outlets? Well, the social media outlets is the key to it all.
You've got to evolve as well. Yeah.
Yes. So if you're podcasting on a streaming network that's just for gaming, what audience are you reaching out to? You're reaching out to the younger generation that you want to see, you want them to see what you're talking about, and you want to be able to get their attention.
Mm.
You know, so when you got Kick and Rumble, not Kick, I mean Kick and Twitch, or basically gaming, websites, and I'm on there. Hey man, I'm reaching out to you.
What?
I'm reaching out to those particular audiences. They're young, you know. I want to be able to get you off that game and listening to my podcast.
Mm.
So to get you that idea on what's going on and how to evolve yourself, not get rid of that game, man, because the action is not on the game. The action is out in the investigation field. That's where all the action is at.
Yeah.
Whether you have a good night and catch a lot of investigations, I mean, a lot of evidence, or you sitting back in a cold spot and you're not catching anything. But it's a win-win either way. Because when you're sitting in that location and you're not getting no evidence, you're thinking of ways how to evolve yourself to get more evidence in that location. But yeah,
Definitely.
go ahead.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely a win-win either way.
Yeah.
Because you're learning. Either way, you're
All
going.
time.
Yeah, either way, man. Guys, we've been going on for an hour and 20 minutes, and I know you guys have an investigation for tonight, so I'm not going to hold you guys up any longer. Trust me, this conversation can goes on for another 20 minutes, but I want to be able to get you guys out there into your investigation and report back to the world if you guys caught back anything, But with that being said, any closing statements for the audience tonight? Please, the floor is yours.
Anybody that loves the paranormal, my advice to any of you is, if you haven't gone out there and tried to do it yourself, go do it yourself. Don't rely on other people to give you the evidence.
And I think as well, there's a lot of people who their friends are not into the paranormal and they want to reach out and they want to go and investigate. There's a lot of people sitting back because they feel they're on their own. The community is widespread, whether it's us or anybody else. Just reach out. Anybody's welcome to join. And I think there's a lot of that, and we need to all support each other and grow as a community.
There you go. Hey, man, perfectly said. Perfectly said. Guys, thank you for allowing me to come into your lives and you guys be able, to share your knowledge with me and vice versa. Appreciate everybody that was watching today on the show, all the comments. I really appreciate that, guys. But hey, I'm going to allow you guys to get on your investigation for tonight. Please, if you guys catch anything, please put it out there so the world can see. And Hey, and I wish you luck on your journey, your continuous journey as paranormal investigators.
Thank you. Thank you
You know
so
what I'm
much.
saying? But one more question, and I'm gonna get you guys out of here. One more question. On everybody has a paranormal bucket list. Where would you like to go anywhere in the world and why?
Salem for me. Um, maybe just because I'm a witch that they didn't burn in the 1960s, 1862.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
for me, I'd love to go Alcatraz. I'd love to investigate that place.
Alcatraz. Interesting. You know, I respect that, but a lot of people has investigated that. You know, they won't let you in there during the nighttime.
Yeah,
During the
that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, but during the day, they give a lot of tours on that place, and a lot of people that have snuck cameras in there. I think you can take cameras. I'm not sure. I don't think you can, but a lot of people have said that they didn't catch a lot of evidence. You
Yeah,
know,
man.
and I'm
Yeah, I've
like,
never personally looked into it in that respect, but just with the coolness and the history of the place, definitely.
yeah, you'd be surprised, man. Just because one person don't get evidence, that don't mean the next person will.
Mm.
You know.
100%. And what about yourself? If you could pick one UK place, where would you pick?
Oh man. Where would I pick in the UK? You know, and I am gonna say, and I don't know if it's there anymore, but I am gonna say Rendlesham Forest.
Oh,
What's that?
Shawinigan Forest, Nottingham.
Oh, shit. In Nottingham,
Yep,
Sherwood Forest.
yep, right
Yeah,
there where the oh man, one of the biggest UFOs conspiracy ever took place there.
yeah.
Whether
Well,
that happened or not,
you're
I don't.
always welcome.
That is where I would go. And my second place would be Normandy Beach in France. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
from the UK, but I would definitely go to France, to Normandy Beach. Can you imagine if
that would be awesome. Absolutely awesome.
and all you need is a voice recorder? Because if you put it on the beach, I guarantee you'll hear some residual energy, some voices, some screams, some yelling, some bombs going off. I guarantee you will hear something. That's a reason why they got that beach blocked off. You can't even have access to it. It's a reason why.
Another place, Czech Republic, is meant to be the number one country in Europe for paranormal hotspots. Would be quite cool to go over and see.
Yeah, dude, there are so many places that a lot of
Oh, we
people.
could be here all day.
Yeah, it could be all day, man. But hey, guys, I'm gonna get you guys out of here, man. Appreciate you guys coming on the show. I really appreciate you guys sharing all your knowledge and and all that stuff. But I will be contacting you guys in a couple months to see how you guys are doing, and just to check up on you guys, and possibly, have you guys come back on the show again and tell me a little bit about the investigation the experiences that you guys have on this particular investigation, or the ones that you're going to have in between the times that I reach out to you guys. So, but with that being said, hey, I appreciate it and lots of love to you guys and welcome to the community.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take
No,
care.
Take care. Thank you.
Right. Hey guys, this is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast with a successful podcast. Hey, go reach out to those guys and show them some love. But in the meantime, hey, peace. 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 Oh. Peace, 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 peace. You know what? My out intro is not working. That is so funny.
I couldn't see myself